are the 3 insider tricks to get clients at 0 cost? Christina, you're on. You're on the big screen.
Yeah, and I guess I jumped the gun a little bit because I'm going to go back to this. Again, this is the magic. This is what you want to get exposure. That's how you get it for 0. And a lot of it is, you know, like I said, figuring out how to make yourself newsworthy, how to have that great hook, how to find the right journalist. But when you have all 3 of those in place, they cost you nothing. It's just being a little bit creative. Use magazines. Look at what they've already written about. And I always say this, you know, keep the old magazines like that you have in the garage or the attic. See what they wrote about a couple years ago. Just update it. Just tweak the hook a little bit and give it, you know, the 2014 spin. And it's a great way to get publicity. I saw something, I was actually researching for a presentation. I had seen one of my favorite ones was on the Today Show. They had a nutritionist on, and she was doing what is the best healthy eating when you're holiday shopping, you know, when you're at the mall, at the food court. Well, when I went to research it, I found the same story years earlier with an old host of the Today Show. So it's like, wait a minute, they're just regurgitating this stuff. So you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to do a little bit of research to see what works for your business or your industry, give it a new spin, and then pitch publication again.
And what's most important here is going after those 3 legs on the triangle that make up the triangle. Let's go over each one step by step of, you know, what are the 3 insider tricks. So go deep with each one so that people get a sense more than just surface of how you approach each one. So show it again, because we're going to cover hooks in a moment. Let's talk about newsworthy. So what are the best places to get newsworthy stuff? You mentioned magazines, but where else? I can think of a few.
Yeah, so I had mentioned, you know, seasonality. If you're a seasonal business, that's a great way to do it. One thing that's really easy, already done for you, is HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out. 3 times a day, they send you queries. And these are journalists looking for people to answer their newsworthy questions. I've been on the Dr. Oz show through HARO. I've been on Steve Harvey through HARO. I've been in Parenting Magazine. All You, I mean, big national publications, they're there, and they're looking for you for help for their newsworthy stories. So that's my biggest tip. If you're not signed up for HARO, you've got to sign up for HARO.
Okay, what else? What's the other leg in the triangle?
You want to skip great hook? You want to go to journalists?
Let's go to the right journalist, because we'll talk about mistakes, then go to hooks. What's a great journalist, and how do you find one?
Yeah. Biggest secret, and I spoke on a panel, a media panel, and a New York Times journalist said, Christina, you just gave away the biggest secret. Go to Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, ask your kids to set you up, ask your neighbors to set you up, your neighbors' kids, nieces, nephews, you have got to be on Twitter. And if you go when we're done, and just on Twitter search Today Show Producer, you'll be shocked. They all pop up, and then read what they're tweeting about. And you can even see what segments they work on. Is that the health producer, or is that, you know, like whoever went to the Olympics, or you can read about what they're doing and you connect with them. And 9 times out of 10, they'll connect back. I've got Today Show producers who favorite my tweets, who retweet my tweets, so it's really easy to connect with any journalist on Twitter.
Okay, let's talk about mistakes. People make embarrassing, sometimes stupid mistakes all the time. If we know what to avoid, many times we will win by default. We know what is by getting rid of what isn't, as I often say. That's a Buckminster Fuller quote. So part of the promise, if I go back to the banner, what are the 5 PR mistakes that people make with the media? It's avoiding the 5 embarrassing PR mistakes when contacting the media. And again, it's for $0, $0, $0. So let's talk about that contact, because the only thing worse than going in the wrong direction, Christina, is going in the wrong direction enthusiastically. So what is the poop on this 5 mistake issue? Let's go for it.
Okay, here are the first 3. So let's say that you've got a great hook and they're going to read your story and it's newsworthy, but you send your business book idea to the food editor. Okay, you've lost them. You're gone. And I also call this the Bermuda Triangle, that if you're missing any one leg, you're going to get lost in the sea. So let's say you've got the right journalist and you've got a great hook, but your story stinks. They're going to be really mad at you that you've wasted their time, and you might have lost that contact right there. And let's say you've got a really newsworthy story, you know the journalist, but you don't know how to write a hook, and you can't get them to read your newsworthy story, you're done. So those are the first three. And then the next one, and I've been really fortunate for what I do on my website. I have a whole interview series with journalists helping you learn how to pitch them more effectively. And over and over again, I hear wordy emails that they said publicists make their job easy because when the email comes in and it's too wordy, they're just going to delete it. They don't even read it. They don't have time. So you want to learn how to write a succinct email that, you know, tells your newsworthy topic, boom, boom, boom. If it's a television segment, let them visualize it. You know, you can ask me these 5 questions. I'm going to bring these visuals on. This is my book. You know, this is my credibility. Here's my media reel if you want to see that I've been on television before. You can do the same thing for a magazine article. Just lay it all out for them. Make it easy because they're really busy and they're overworked. And if you start doing that, you become their new best friend. And then the last thing, the 5th one, is you've got to know the media outlet. You've really got to pay attention to the outlet you want to be in. First of all, you want to be where your customers are. You don't just necessarily want to be on the Today Show or Good Morning America or CNN. If your customers aren't there, your customers are reading a trade publication, go figure out how to get in the trade publication. But that's really important. And I interviewed the head producer of the Rachel Ray Show, and we've gotten to be friends. And he said, you know, that drives him crazy. You know, I wouldn't go pitch my book, my business book, to a cooking show. And in that same regard, make sure you spell the person's name right in your email. You know, when you know the show, make sure you spell the show name right. Make sure you know the segment that you want to be in. And that will really, really help you get your message across in that outlet.